Sweet.
What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here, WPI 2022. And we've had a time. I think we're all pretty tired. This is day, whatever, the time has no meaning here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we go home tomorrow, which is nice. I'm joined today by Lachlan.
Hello.
He's a man that you may have seen before on the channel. We, all through, I guess, the month of January, we're doing a number of different videos, 30 videos, 30 days. And a lot of them had to do with focal, so I figured we would kind of talk about, I guess it's been, what, a month and a half now? Actually longer than that. It's been like I've had my website up for 2 months. So I have some actual real data of how my bookings and everything's kind of changed. So we figured we would talk about that, and you can give me some feedback, and because I'm just one single human being, but Lachlan talks to a lot of people, and he has a lot of data, and you've done, what, like 10,000 hours of meetings with different photographers all around the world?
Over 10,000, no. Yeah. I did 1,000 hours of talking with photographers in January, which was amazing.
You actually did?
Or no, 100 hours. 100 hours. 1,000 is not humanly possible. I did 100 hours of Zoom meetings with photographers in January.
I really feel like there's so much data that you are aware of now. So I figure it's going to be a valuable talk. So thanks for joining us here at the table. So I guess the thing that's changed the most for my website is the fact that it's kind of as we expected, that inquiries overall have come down, but the inquiries that do come in are pretty much ready to book. Like, there's no more barriers, there's no questions asked. They kind of have all of the information, which has been amazing because I don't know, we do a lot of stuff. I'm sure you probably do a lot of stuff. You're doing a photography business, you're working a job, you're doing 50 different things, and to not have those emails of unqualified leads coming in is actually really, really nice. So I have been very much enjoying that, and knowing that when a lead comes in, that they have selected a package already. They know exactly what they want. So again, my experience, one human being, what have you kind of noticed, or what have you talked about with other photographers?
Yeah, I think like what you talked about right there is really what Focal's all about. It's just like, if you as a photographer don't like selling, and you feel like your ideal clients are people that don't want to feel like they're being like sold by somebody, then like Focal is a really good solution. And it's been the same experience across the board. Like I was just telling you today, like we launched someone's website, and within like, I don't know, 10 hours they were like, Lachlan, the feeling you get when your new website goes live and you get an instant like wedding booking. And it was so simple for him. And I think what people are really surprised at is like just the entire process goes so much faster. There isn't that like dozen email back and forth. It's like he got that booking request, and then payment receipt, you see it, and it's in like an hour later.
Yeah. And I would say, so I guess maybe as if you're not familiar with Focal yet, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of we've already filmed this a bunch of times today, but kind of the brief of it and what its value is for photographers?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I always talk about like why I started Focal in the first place, which I think relates to what it is today. And like I actually started Focal, I was frustrated trying to book a photographer as a client. I was with my partner, we were in Banff, Canada, and it was like our anniversary, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to book a couples photographer. And it was just such a hard experience trying to go through different websites. I was spending hours trying to figure out what different people offered, what it cost, what the experience is like. And I ended up just not being able to book a photographer in time, which was really sad. And I think what I learned from that whole experience, and every photographer I talked to, is that pretty much I think a lot of photographers just don't have the right tools to make it easy for clients to book them. And that's pretty much what Focal does for you. So we offer all-in-one website booking, contracts, payments platform, and really we build it all for you. So if you're a photographer that's like, oh, I've been working on my website for 6 months and it's just not happening, or maybe you have an old website that you got 5 or 10 years ago that still isn't working on mobile, there's this big mountain hurdle to get over to just getting your website done. And with Focal, it's just a turnkey solution. We want to help you have that foundation for your business, have everything you need to make it easy. And so that's pretty much what it's all about.
Yeah, and my wife Lindsay's website is just about to go live, or is pretty much in the final stages.
Yeah, I think this week for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that she was nervous because she thought she was going to be the hardest customer in the world to work with, because she loved all the layouts, but have you guys built something a little more custom for her?
Yeah.
And she's stoked on it, and it's passed the Lindsay. It gets the Lindsay check mark, which I feel like is a next level check mark. So
yeah, I think what we did with Lindsay is going to be really cool. It's a total different thing from what we did with you. She loves your site, but she said it's so bro. and Lindsay's new site is going to be amazing, and we're going to be offering it as one of our website foundations going forward too. So it's a totally different look. It's very beautiful, timeless, traditional, and it fits her really well. And
And then I guess how she did things a little bit differently. So for my website, it was full turnkey. You wrote copy for me. You built the packages. You did everything. For her, did she write her own copy? So she has like a little control over?
You have as much control as you want to have, I think. Like, yeah, Lindsay was very involved in the process, but also like we, sent her previews and she was just like, I love it.
Yeah.
Nothing to change. So like, it's been great. But yeah, I think we work with you. It's a very collaborative process. I think like other website companies, it's like, oh, fill out this form and then here is your website. But with us, it's like, we're actually going to talk with you almost every day for like a week and a half in the process, and we're going to be tweaking things and making sure that it feels like you and that you're happy with it.
Yeah. What are a few of the things that you've learned talking to 100 million different photographers all around the world in the month of January?
Yeah, that's a great question. The biggest thing that stands out to me is the easy website builders, and I won't name them. The website builders that are considered the easy ones, they're not easy enough for a lot of photographers, and I find a lot of photographers using them, and unfortunately, they're not getting the most out of it. So I'm checking out photographer sites, and I'm like, let's look at your SEO. Oh, there is no SEO. So sad.
Yeah.
Like I was literally like talking with a photographer, and we were on Zoom and we were just talking, and he was talking about how he was doing all this blogging, and I was like, that's fantastic. That's exactly what you need to be doing for Google. And then I went in and just typed in cite his domain, which shows you all the pages that Google knows about for his site, and none of the blog posts showed up. And that's because he had never submitted them to Google to say, hey Google, like look at my blog posts, put them on the internet. He had never done that, and he'd been writing all these blog posts, and they were just going into like the abyss.
Yeah.
And he was like so sad, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but like this is going to be taken care of for you now, because when you create a new blog post, when you put a new gallery up with Focal, all of the SEO is configured automatically. It gets submitted to Google. You don't have to worry about all those things.
Yeah, and then maybe one other horror story not involving Focal. So Lindsay was in the process of making her new site with Focal, but then within that time, I think she was going to her website to download some images or to copy over some of the copy that she'd written, and her website just didn't exist. And she called Bluehost, and they were like, yeah, we don't know where it is. We can restore backup. And it took them 11 days to get her website back up. So her website was down in January for 11 days. And if you're a wedding photographer, January, February is like the biggest time of basically like the year for bookings and inquiries. And yeah, such a crazy horror story.
That is a horror story.
But the thing that I like, I guess, we don't know what happened there, but it was a WordPress website on a pro photo theme, and they've been challenging to work with. I used a pro photo theme for a bunch of years, and things would break and plugins would just stop functioning, or there were always issues and things that I was troubleshooting. And I want to do a photography business. I don't want to be a web host. I don't need to get in the back end and code things. So I think that this is kind of the simple way that if you don't want to do that, you don't want to go to school for computer programming and try to code all your own stuff and do all the hard work, that you can just very easily come into this and know that your website is going to work and that it's going to be up and there and it's going to look great on mobile or an iPad or a computer. I think that's another thing that I learned in January when we had one of our calls, that I was like, oh, like I've never actually looked at the Google data on analytics to be like, how many people are on a computer versus a tablet or a device, and it turned out that it was, I forgot, it was like 66% or something were on mobile.
Yeah.
And my website did not look great on mobile, and there was also an image that I couldn't change. There was like a placeholder image. Lindsay is the same, that there's this random placeholder image that we have no idea where it is. And it was just like baked into this WordPress theme. And yeah, we tried to delete the image. We found it in the back, like in the actual like FTP backend, and deleted the image, and it was still there. So
it's yours now.
It's, yeah, and it's so weird. And then, I don't know, just working with you has been an absolute joy. I feel like I'm not like enthusiastic enough because it's day 55 in Las Vegas, but it really has been something that's been an amazing transition. So I'm happy that this is all worked out and that we're here.
I know, working with you and working with Lindsay has just been fantastic. And when you're telling that story, I was thinking, like, I had that call with Lindsay where it was like a very relaxed experience building our site, and then suddenly we get this email and she's like, so my site exploded. And I'm like, oh, well, we better get this new one up really fast. And she was telling me too, like, it's crazy, like your website goes down for 11 days. That's a really long time. And she was telling me that she was getting like DMs and stuff, and people were like, are you not doing wedding anymore? And she was like, no, my site exploded, it's okay.
Fortunately, she's active enough on social media and also had a family's website that was like kind of the backup. So she had like a 403 redirect, and
was, but just crazy. And like, it's really sad for me to see that, because I think, like, I don't know, at least for me and the values of Focal and our company is just all about like helping photographers. And for me personally, and I know the rest of our team, like if we see any issues or you message us, we're so responsive. Like, support is so important to us after you get your site. It's not just like goodbye. It's like, if you have any questions, you message us. And like, even the other night we were throwing our little pizza and beer thing, and someone was just asking me a quick question about bookings, and I'm happy to reply to them about that. And I think that's like the other thing too, is we want you to feel like you have a team behind you. I think sometimes being a photographer, being a founder of a company, it's a lonely thing, and so having people around you to support you is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the month of March, so it's a WPI special that is going to be extended to the end of the month. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Definitely,
yeah. So, I mean, the first thing we did with you was crazy. That's why I was on Zoom for what felt like 1,000 hours. We end up closing the wait list at the end of January with 506 photographers. We're still working through all of those websites, and it's been fantastic. What's become like really clear to me is that it's not sustainable for us to do the crazy deal that we did with you the first month there, but we want to do something new and special. And so for the month of March, in combination with this sort of WPPI stuff going on, we're doing a really great offer. So pretty much you can save $1,140 off of our website setup. And so pretty much what you do is you just come on the landing page, you pay the first $80 installment for your website setup, and that's 12 payments for your website setup. And then after your website is ready to launch, you can start paying the hosting subscriptions. That's $55 a month, and that also includes our back end, so bookings, payments, contracts, all of that. And so pretty much for the first year, you're looking at $135, which is down from our total, which is like $225 regular, and then after that first year, it's just $55 for the back-end subscription and the hosting, and we make sure we back up your websites.
And yeah, if you're on the wait list still, and so essentially kind of the difference is that when the wait list is all, that it's just kind of that one-time upfront payment, whereas this is spaced out a little bit longer over the year. So if you are on the wait list and you haven't received an email, there should be a Calendly link. And maybe check your spam. If not, maybe message Focal, email Lachlan. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Email me at lachlan@bookfocal.com, or just message us on Instagram. We really want to make sure that if you made it on the wait list, like one thing I heard on so many of my calls were like, I finally made it. It was like my 4th time trying to book a slot, and so now we've opened up a ton of slots. So if you were on the wait list, there's a lot of slots open, so that there's an opportunity to make sure that you get that slot. So if you didn't get that email because it went to spam or something like that, just let us know. And that will pretty much be the last time to get that crazy, insane offer. So,
awesome. All right, well, we are going to go to Outback Steakhouse immediately and eat cheese fries and 3 blooming onions and a potato soup and honey wheat loaf of bread. And
that's why we feel so lovely.
Alice Springs chicken. I don't know what we're going to do today, but we are going to go back to the convention. I'm doing a number of videos here, a lot of short documentaries on the photographers I looked up to and still look up to in the industry. So those will be coming soon, but until then, you have this video, but this video is done now. So that's all I guess. Jacob's up here.
Goodbye.
Hi, Jacob. All right, that's all. See you again next time. Peter McKinnon, out. Is that how he does it?